Little Mix are a British four-piece girl group formed in 2011, consisting of members Perrie Edwards, Jesy Nelson, Leigh-Anne Pinnock and Jade Thirlwall. They were formed exclusively for the 8th series of The X Factor in 2011 and became the first group to win the competition. Following their victory, they signed with Simon Cowell's record label Syco Records and released a cover of Damien Rice's Cannonball as their winner's single. Little Mix released their debut album DNA on November 19, 2012. It charted in the top 5 in 8 countries, including number 2 in the UK and number 4 on the US Billboard 200. This made Little Mix the first girl group since the Pussycat Dolls to reach the US top 5 with their debut album, as well as earning the highest debut US chart position by a British girl group, breaking the record previously held by the Spice Girls, whose 1996 debut Spice charted at number 5. As of October 2013, Little Mix has sold over 4 million singles and over 1.6 million albums worldwide. History: 2011, Formation and The X Factor. In 2011, Edwards, Thirlwall, Leigh Pinnock and Nelson successfully auditioned as soloists for the 8th series of The X Factor, but failed to make it past boot camp's first challenge. However, the judges decided to give them another chance in the groups category. They were put into separate ensembles by the judges during the group's boot camp stage, with Edwards and Nelson in 4-member group Faux Pas and Thirlwall and Pinnock in 3-member group Orion. However, both groups failed to make it through to the judges' houses. A later decision recalled 2 members from each group to form the 4-piece group Rhythmics, sending them through to the judges' houses. They eventually reached the live shows and were mentored by Tulisa Contostavlos. During the first live show on October 8, 2011, Rhythmics performed Super Bass by American recording artist Nicki Minaj. Their rendition was praised by the judges, with Gary Barlow calling them the best girl band that unregistered trademark has ever been on The X Factor. On October 26, 2011, Rhythmics announced that they would change their name following a dispute with a Brighton-based children's music charity of the same name, after the program tried to trademark Rhythmics. A spokesman for The X Factor said, "At the request of the charity Rhythmics, the members of the girl group Rhythmics have decided to change their name, a decision which has the support of Syco and Talkback Thames." It was reported that the group decided to make the change, with no legal requirement to do so, to avoid any difficulties for the charity. On October 28, 2011, it was announced that the group's new name would be Little Mix. On November 20, 2011, Little Mix became the first girl group in the show's 8-year history to progress past the 7th live show. The previous longest surviving girl groups were the Conway Sisters and Hope, who had both lasted until week 7. Through the remaining course of the competition, the group generally received positive feedback. During the semi-final stage of the show, Little Mix performed the Supremes' You Keep Me Hangin' On as well as Banjo v unregistered trademark S Hit If I Were a Boy. Their performance of You Keep Me Hangin' On received mostly negative feedback from the judges, with Louis Walsh stating that they lost their mojo and Kelly Rowland telling the girl group she seen them do a better vocal performance as their second performance of the night, If I Were a Boy, was generally acclaimed by the judges, with Walsh telling them they have amazing potential and calling them the next big girl band Rowland also told them they could be incredibly dynamic and changed the world when they find the strength within each other. The group advanced through to the final live shows along with Marcus Collins and Amelia Lilly following the public vote. On December 11, Little Mix were announced as the winners, the first ever group to win. Their winner's single was a cover of Damien Rice's song Cannonball, which was released via digital download on December 11, 2011, and on CD on December 14, 2011. The X Factor, the winner's story, was shown on ITV2 on December 17, 2011. Their debut single topped the UK singles chart on December 18, 2011. They made the Christmas #1 spot on the Irish singles chart, beating novelty songs by the Sword Doctors and Ryan Sheridan. 2012 a Euro 13, DNA and international breakthrough. On January 25, 2012, Little Mix made an appearance at the National Television Awards and performed the En Vogue song Don't Let Go. They also accompanied fellow judges Gary Barlow and Tulisa Conte-Stavlos on stage to receive the Best Talent Show award that had been won by the X Factor. In May 2012, Little Mix reportedly signed a deal with Vivid and Bravado to release signature products including dolls, puzzles, accessories and games. Prior to their debut single release, the band covered an a cappella version of Beamka v Unregistered Trademark SA OE End of Tamir and uploaded it on YouTube. The cover was publicly praised, especially for the group Unregistered Trademark S impressive harmonies. Later in August, they also uploaded another cover, this time an acoustic cover of OE We Are Young by Fun FT. Janelle Money, which again received positive feedback, generally, for the group Unregistered Trademark S harmonies. On June 1, a snippet of their debut single OE Wings previewed on chat show Alan Carr, Chatty Man before its later release date in August. Little Mix performed their debut single Wings for the first time at the T4 on the Beach concert on July 1. The single debuted at number 1 on the UK singles chart. On August 31, 2012, the group's autobiography, titled Ready to Fly, was released by HarperCollins. In October 2012, the group went on a promotional visit to Australia due to their expanding fan base there. Destinations included Melbourne and Sydney. The trip lasted a week and the group visited radio stations to promote the single and debut album. They performed their single OE Wings on the X Factor and on Australian breakfast television show Sunrise. Subsequently their single OE Wings reached number 2 on the Australian iTunes chart and number 3 on the ARIA charts. Their debut album, DNA, was released in November 2012. Nicola Roberts co-penned a track called Going Nowhere. On the DNA album, the album reached number 3 in both Ireland and the UK. A second single, DNA, was released in October, and in January 2013 they signed a record deal with Columbia Records in North America. Wings was released as their debut single in America on February 5, 2013. On February 3, 2013, they released Change Your Life as the album's third single, which charted at number 12 on the UK singles chart. On March 4, 2013, it was announced that How Ya Doin' would be released as the fourth and final single from their debut album. On March 21, they announced that their next single, How Ya Doin', would feature Grammy Award-winning musician, Missy Elliott. On April 4, 2013, the group revealed that Schwarzkopf Hair Dye Live Color XXL would be promoted through their music video for How Ya Doin'. In a new sponsorship deal. How Ya Doin' debuted at number 57 on the UK singles chart on April 20, 2013, before ascending to number 23 the week after. In its third week, the song peaked at number 16, marking Little Mix's fifth consecutive UK Top 20 hit. It charted for a total of 7 weeks. How Ya Doin' sold 120,000 copies in the UK. The single debuted at number 55 on the Irish singles chart on April 11, 2013. It then climbed the chart to peak at number 26. Consequently, How Ya Doin' became Little Mix's first single to miss the top 20 in Ireland, but spent a total of 7 weeks on the chart. The single peaked at number 16 on the Scottish singles chart on May 11, 2013, marking the group's fifth consecutive top 20 hit in Scotland. 2013 A Euro Present, Salute. In March 2013, Little Mix began their first promotional campaign in the US. In multiple interviews with various websites and radio interviewers, the girls said that they would begin working on their second album in April. The group began work writing and recording the album in April and concluded in September. In an interview with Digital Spy in March 2013, they stated that they wanted their second album to have a more R&B sound. Nelson added, "I personally want to put a lot more dancey stuff in there. As in, one of the songs that comes on in a club that makes you want to dance. Not that David Guetta sound, but more R&B a bit like Eve and Gwen Stefani's Let Me Blow Your Mind." They also revealed that they would be starting to write material for the new album in the coming months. On October 4, Little Mix uploaded a video to their official YouTube page, announcing that their second album would be called Salute and would be available for pre-order on October 7. The album was released on November 11, 2013 in the United Kingdom and was released in the United States on February 4, 2014. Throughout the recording process, Little Mix worked with several producers, including TMS, Future Cut, Frederick Ball, Thirlwall and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The album was largely co-written by Little Mix, who stated that they were more involved in the development of this album than with their debut. On September 23, 2013, Move was premiered on BBC Radio 1. For the single, Little Mix worked with Nathan Thirlwall, an up-and-coming R&B producer, and Megan Cotton, the girls' vocal coach. Move was released on October 7 in Australia and New Zealand. It was later released in the UK and Ireland on November 3. It was sent to mainstream radio in the US on February 18, 2014 and reached number 38 on that chart. The song peaked at number 3 in the UK, number 5 in Ireland, number 19 in Japan and number 12 in New Zealand. The single also charted in Australia, Belgium, the Netherlands and Slovak. Since then, Move has been certified gold in Australia for sales of 35,000 and silver in the UK for sales of 200,000. Little Me was selected as the second single from the album. The song was co-written by TMS and Ian James, and produced by TMS. On November 21, 2013, Little Mix revealed via a YouTube video message that they decided to release it as the second single because it held a lot meaning to them and was written with their fans in mind. The song reached number 14 in the UK, number 3 in Armenia, number 15 in Iceland and number 16 in the Netherlands. It also charted in Australia, Ireland and Lebanon. The band released a cover version of the Cameo song Word Up as the official single for Sport Relief 2014. The song reached number 6 in the UK and number 13 in Ireland while also charting in Australia, Austria, Denmark and France. Little Mix announced on April 5, 2014 that the title track Salute will be released as the album's third single. It impacted UK radio on April 28, 2014. The official music video premiered on May 2 and received over 1 million views within 24 hours. It was released on June 1. In December 2013, the group announced the UK and Ireland dates for their second headlining concert tour, the Salute Tour. North American dates were added in April 2014. The tour began on May 16, 2014 in Birmingham, England at the LG Arena and it will finish on October 11, 2014 in Toronto, Canada at the Sound Academy, Artistry, Little Mix cite the Spice Girls, Beyoncé copyright, Michael Jackson, D. Steiner Euro unregistered trademark S. Child, En Vogue, TLC, Nicki Minaj, Christina Aguilera and Rihanna as their musical influences. Edwards cites Jackson and Steve Perry from the American rock band Journey as her musical influences. Other ventures, products and endorsements. In May 2012, Little Mix launched a Union Jack pack of M&Ma Euro unregistered trademark S. The group also treated fans to an exclusive performance at the M&Ma Euro unregistered trademark S World Store. Also in 2012, Little Mix released their first book entitled A Euro Ready to Fly, a Euro unregistered trademark. The title of the book is a reference to their debut single Wings. The book was published through HarperCollins and documents the group a Euro unregistered trademark S journey since auditioning for the X Factor. The girl group signed a joint deal with toymaker Vivid and music merchandiser Bravado to release a range of products including dolls, puzzles, accessories and games in November. During 2012, Little Mix also unveiled a Kid a Euro unregistered trademark S clothing range with clothing retailer Primark. The line is aimed to 7 to 13-year-olds and comprises accessories, t-shirts, leggings and nightwear. The products include the group a Euro unregistered trademark S individual trademark icons, Edwards has a flower, Pinnock has a baseball cap, Thirlwall a bow and Sony Euro unregistered trademark S icon is a boom box. On April 4, 2013, the group revealed that Schwarzkopf Hair Dye Live Color XXL would be promoted through their music video for How Ya Doin'. The group teamed up with nail brand Elegant Touch to design their own individual nails. Each girl designed their own nails and nail wraps to represent their personality for fashion. Elegant Touch and Little Mix signed up with New Look to officially launch the range. The nail line was released in April 2013. In early 2014, Little Mix launched their new range of nails with Elegant Touch as a result of the previous success. In September, Little Mix announced that they were launching their own makeup line with collection. Perrie shared, "We are so excited to unveil our new range to all you makeup lovers out there. As you know, we all love dressing up and experimenting with different looks, so creating our own makeup was a dream come true. We designed the collection ourselves and we've all chosen products that reflect our personalities." Following the success of their previous makeup range with cosmetic brand Collection, Little Mix revealed plans to expand the line by bringing out a second range. During May, the group revealed a preview of the new makeup collection via Instagram. The Little Mix by Collection unregistered trademark line involves 4 individual ranges that aim to reflect each girl unregistered trademark's personal style. The group have extended the range to include moisturizing lip balms available in each of the girls' unregistered trademark signature shade and favorite scent. Jesy decided on vanilla, Leigh-Anne opted for mint and Jade raspberry. As Perrie has no sense of smell, she had chosen a shimmery unscented balm instead. The singers have also introduced a bumper eyeshadow palette all about the eyes palette unregistered trademark. It includes 6 shimmery and smoky brown shades: Feather, Sun-Kissed, Golden Sand, Dazzling Brown, Cocoa Dream and Blackbird. The new range had been reported to arrive in Superdrug stores by July 30, 2014. During May 2014 it was revealed that the group had teamed up with Vibe Audio to bring out Little Mix zip cable headphones. The earphones would be available to buy direct from the Vibe store during June 2, coinciding with their Salute unregistered trademark UK tour. The Vibe Audio listening devices have availability in 2 different twin shade combinations, pink and white and or black and red. Philanthropy. Little Mix took part in the recording of the 2011 X Factor charity single along with the finalists of the X Factor 2011 and previous X Factor contestants unregistered trademark JLS and One Direction. They covered the 1978 hit single Wishing on a Star by Rolls-Royce. All proceeds from the single went to the children's charity organization, Together for Short Lives. The charity ensures that every life-threatened child, young person and their family gets the best possible care and support from the moment of diagnosis, wherever they live and for as long as they need it. The song debuted at number 1 on the UK singles chart with first week sales of 98,932 copies. In 2012, the band performed their single Change Your Life on the Children in Need 2012 broadcast appeal show, helping raise over £26,757,446 for the cause, which helps disadvantaged kids in the UK. Little Mix also performed at the 2-part charity music concert Children in Need Rocks 2013 to raise money for children in need. Little Mix performed a medley consisting of their hit singles Change Your Life, DNA and Wings. The group performed alongside Kings of Leon, Ellie Goulding among other artists. The concert was broadcast on BBC One during the Children in Need Week. In March 2014, Little Mix teamed up with Beat Bullying, the largest anti-bullying organisation in Europe. The quartet is backing the anti-bullying media campaign OE the Big March and the Delete Cyberbullying project. The aim is to stop bullying and cyberbullying across Europe. Member Leigh-Anne Pinnock said, "Myself and the girls have all experienced being bullied at some point in our life. OE when we see on Twitter that some of our fans are going through it now, we find it so upsetting, and that's the reason we feel so passionate about this campaign and the work that Beat Bullying does." A key aim of the Big March calls on the European Commission to introduce new laws to protect the right of European children to live without fear of bullying and cyberbullying. The campaign is also calling for €77 million to be set aside for services that prevent and protect European children from bullying and cyberbullying. It is also proposing an annual awareness day to promote the anti-bullying movement across Europe. Brands including Disney, Moshi Monsters and Storm Models are also backing the big march. In March 2014, Little Mix released a cover of Came Our Euro unregistered trademark S single A Euro OE Word Up. A Euro was the official single for Sport Relief 2014. They performed it live during the Sport Relief telethon. The total amount raised on the night of broadcast was a record-breaking £51,242,186. The girl group also visited Liberia to witness the good work done with the Sport Relief donations. A video diary was recorded by each member showing them visit local hospitals and describing their experiences. Members: Perrie Edwards. Edwards was born July 10, 1993, and raised in South Shields, Tyne and Whit to parents Alexander Edwards and Deborah Duffy. Edwards has an older brother named Johnny. Her first audition was You Have to Know by Alanis Morissette. She became engaged to One Direction member Zayn Malik in August 2013. Jesy Nelson. Nelson was born June 14, 1991, and raised in Romford, London to parents John Nelson and Janice White. She has an older sister Jade and two brothers, Joseph and Jonathan. Her first audition was Bust All Windows by Jasmine Sullivan. Since joining Little Mix, she has faced cyberbullying and struggled to cope during her time on The X Factor. Prior to the show, Nelson worked as a barmaid. She's in a relationship with Diversity's Jordan Banjo. Leigh-Anne Pinnock. Pinnock was born October 4, 1991, and raised in High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire along with her two sisters, Sarah and Shan Louise. Pinnock is of Barbadian and Jamaican ancestry. Before joining Little Mix, she worked as a waitress in Pizza Hut. Her first audition was Only Girl by Rihanna. She's in a relationship with Jordan Kiffin. Jade Thirlwall. Thirlwall was born December 26, 1992, and raised in South Shields, Tyne and Wear. She previously auditioned for The X Factor during Series 5 and Series 7. Her first audition was I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles. Her musical influences are Diana Ross and Cheryl Cole. She's in a relationship with Diversity's Sam Krask. Discography: DNA, Salute, Concert Tours, Headlining, DNA Tour, The Salute Tour, Supporting, The X Factor Live Tour, Neon Lights Tour. Awards and nominations. References. External links. Official website.